Your latest photo has shocked a few people because you're. My dear child, if you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says your latest photo has shocked a few people because your face and body are not what they expected. Something changed. They cannot describe it, but they feel it. They saw your eyes, and they felt something divine. They saw your face, and it disturbed their plans. They looked at your body, and it looked like a temple now. They don't know what you've been through, but they can sense it was sacred. That photo, that one photo, it stopped someone's plans to mock you. It silenced a mouth that had been lying on your name for years. It caused someone to stop and question if you are who they thought you were, or if maybe, just maybe, God is doing something in your life that is far beyond what human minds can understand. Someone you once trusted saw it. And that person is not sleeping well tonight. That photo reminded them of everything they lost when they lost you. That photo made someone tremble because the glow on your face is not natural. It is glory. It is divine restoration. It is divine fire burning away the things they tried to bury you in. And now, God is shaking the heavens to show what happens when someone chosen is rejected, abandoned, lied to, and left for nothing. Because now heaven is making a public announcement. Finally, God is exposing this person. Open it now before it's too late. Someone thought your silence was weakness. They thought because you were quiet, you were broken. But they didn't know that your quiet season was where God restructured your entire destiny. They didn't know that behind closed doors, angels were visiting you. They didn't know that in the darkness, the Spirit of God was hovering over your chaos. And now, there's a holy light coming from your presence that is disturbing demons who once felt comfortable mocking you. They are afraid now. Not because you retaliated, but because God is now speaking for you. A powerful organization had your name on a list. They thought they were being clever, orchestrating events, controlling people, shaping narratives. They smiled while doing wrong to you. They gathered in places you couldn't reach, whispered lies you couldn't defend, and manipulated hearts you once poured love into. But now their foundation is cracking. One of them has confessed. One of them has had enough. One of them saw your photo and cried. Yes, cried. Because they realized the person they helped destroy was the one anointed to bless their family. They destroyed the one carrying the oil. And now, God is uncovering the rot beneath their surface. He is exposing their altars, their rituals, their words. There is a sound coming from the heavens that is shaking the bones of every person who betrayed you. They feel it in their sleep. They feel it when they try to speak about you now. Their words are choking in their throat. The curses they spoke now circle back to them. The hexes, the negative energy, the malicious intent, it has returned to sender. Because the sender underestimated your God. There's a woman. She pretended to be your friend. But in secret, she carried envy so deep, it turned into obsession. She copied your words, your style, your smile. She watched your every move. But what she couldn't copy was your favor. So she plotted. She disguised her attacks as concern. She painted her jealousy as warnings to others. But heaven has reached its limit with her. Because what she touched is sacred. And now finally, I am exposing this woman. Open this now before her lies consume more innocent souls. There's a man. His hands were on you in ways they had no right to be. His presence in your life was manipulation cloaked in charm. He used your vulnerability to feed his ego. He smiled while wounding you. He laughed while you bled emotionally. And now he's telling others that you were the one who lost him. But he doesn't know heaven kept a record. Heaven recorded the nights you cried and said nothing. Heaven saw the text messages he deleted. Heaven heard the tone behind the words. And now, God has sent an angel to his doorstep, not for judgment, but for warning. Because what he does next will determine the fire that touches his life. God says, this is not a joke. People are beginning to ask questions. They're looking at you now and wondering how you're still standing. After all they did. After the betrayal. After the gossip. After the silence from people who swore they loved you. They see you smiling and they feel confused. Because the last time they heard about you, you were falling apart. They don't know that in that fall, God caught you. They don't know that the breakdown was a sacred transformation. They don't know that while they laughed, angels wept. And while they mocked, heaven planned a comeback so shocking, even your enemies would be forced to confess, God did this. That person you prayed for, yes, the one you begged God to heal, is now the same person speaking against you. But God is not deaf. He heard. He kept silence only for a time. And now, the time has expired. And this person is feeling the void where your prayers used to be. They don't know why life feels heavier. They don't understand why things are falling through their hands. They don't see that the divine protection that once covered them because of your love is now lifted. Not because God is punishing them, but because God is protecting you. The reason you were isolated was not punishment, it was preservation. God hid you in pain to prepare you in peace. He took you away from the noise to make your voice a trumpet in this generation. He allowed the rejection because those hands could not handle your oil. And now the same people who rejected you are watching you rise, and they are confused. They are gathering in secret to ask questions about your glow. But they don't know that your glow is not makeup. It is not filters. It is not lighting. It is holy fire. It is divine vengeance wrapped in mercy. It is heaven's signature over your life. There is someone who once laughed at your dreams. They called you unrealistic. They said your vision was too big. And now they're watching you build what they said was impossible. And they are scared. Because what you're building doesn't look like revenge, it looks like divine prophecy. And every brick you lay reminds them that they cannot stop what God has ordained. A person you loved is now seeing your name everywhere. It's on timelines, in conversations, even in dreams. They tried to forget you, but they can't. Because God is allowing your name to echo in places their pride tried to erase. Not for punishment, but for exposure. Because they didn't just lose a person, they lost a portal. They lost someone whose presence shifted spiritual atmospheres. They lost the one who covered them in prayer when everyone else left. And now, the exposure is not about you. It's about what they did to someone heaven had assigned. The whispers around you are getting louder. People are starting to say things like, "I always knew they were special." But you remember when they didn't say that. You remember when they avoided you. When they believed the lies. When they fed the rumors. And now they're trying to come back. They're trying to reconnect. But God says, be wise. This season is not for reconnecting, it's for rebuilding. Let the ones who left stay gone. Let the ones who lied stay exposed. Because elevation requires separation. That image, yes, that one photo, was more than a picture. It was prophecy. It was divine evidence that something sacred is happening in your life. And the people who saw it felt uncomfortable not because it was inappropriate, but because it was too holy for their agenda. It was too sacred for their mockery. Your glow rebuked them. Your posture corrected them. And your presence, just your presence, revealed everything they were hiding. There's someone watching you from the shadows. They once thought they had power over you. They once manipulated your emotions. But now they're watching from a distance, realizing they no longer have access. And it's driving them into desperation. But don't go back. That season is closed. That door is sealed. Heaven has moved you forward. Something you didn't know is being revealed now. There was a plan to replace you. Yes, replace you in a role, a relationship, a circle. But the replacement failed. Because when God anoints someone, you cannot duplicate the oil. They tried to make a version of you. But it collapsed. The connections didn't last. The support didn't come. The presence didn't carry the same fire. And now they know, what they had in you was rare. And they lost it. Your presence is beginning to disturb people who once felt comfortable mocking you. And this is why they're silent now. It's not peace, it's fear. Not because you said anything, but because heaven has started speaking. And when heaven speaks, earth trembles. There is one final thing that must be said. The reason you felt heaviness is not because something is wrong, it's because something sacred is about to be revealed. You're at the edge of a shift so dramatic that even the devil is nervous. He has sent distractions. He has tried to exhaust you. He has whispered lies. But none of it will work. Because your name is in the mouth of God right now. And when God speaks your name, no demon can cancel it. Finally, God is exposing this person. Open it now before the story they told destroys more souls. Open it now before the lie is believed by one more innocent heart. Open it now before the one assigned to you walks away thinking you were the enemy. Open it now, because time is sensitive. And heaven has issued an order: no more silence. No more hiding. No more waiting. The exposure has begun. The justice is in motion. The divine reversal is active. And the photo that shook them? It was only the beginning. You're about to walk into a season where your very existence is a revelation. Stay ready. Stay grounded. And don't be afraid when God begins to shake everything. The shaking is not to destroy, it is to reveal. Because what's coming next will silence every lie ever told about you. Watch. Heaven is not done speaking your name. Your latest photo has shocked a few people because your face and body are not what they expected them to be. There's something they're not saying. They saw something that reminded them of a truth they cannot handle. They thought they left you behind in the shadows where they assumed you belonged. But when they saw your light breaking through your skin, your eyes, your posture, your silence, they were struck by something more powerful than beauty. They saw glory. They saw evidence that what they buried is rising again. They saw reflection, and they were not ready for what they saw reflecting back. There is a message for you, and it has waited long enough. Heaven has been stirring, whispering your name. There have been hands folded in prayer behind closed doors for you. There has been a soul that kept asking for mercy on your behalf, saying, "Please don't let them give up. Please let them see that there's more. Please remind them that they're not ruined, they're not rejected, they're not forgotten." You are walking with so much weight that you no longer realize how far you've carried it. It feels like skin now, this heaviness. But it was never meant to be part of your being. Someone passed it to you. Someone placed it on you while smiling and calling it love. But it was never love. It was expectation, manipulation, fear. And you wore it like a crown. But you need to know this truth now. The world cannot understand the battles you've survived because they never knew the wars you faced were invisible. People judged you for not bleeding out in front of them while you were bleeding in silence, in your sleep, in the places no one dared to look. They assumed because you didn't scream, it didn't hurt. But heaven saw. And you didn't suffer for nothing. You need to understand something spiritual is being revealed through your body. Not just your physical form, but the energy of your existence. That's why some people are confused, speechless, or even bothered when they look at you now. Because they don't understand how you still have joy when sorrow should have swallowed you. How you can stand tall when life tried to bend you backwards until you broke. They don't know how the child in you survived the crushing. But you did. You survived. Not just barely, you survived in such a way that even your reflection has changed. What they don't understand is that your face carries revelation now. Your body tells a story. Your posture proclaims resurrection. When people look at you now, they are staring at a sermon they were never ready to hear. A testimony wrapped in skin and silence. A quiet defiance of what was supposed to kill you. Someone is very confused about how you still shine. They keep replaying memories of who you were because it's easier for them to believe you're unchanged. But something happened. And this is what's shocking them. You died, but you lived. You gave up, but you rose up. You disappeared, but you came back with something they cannot identify because it wasn't from this world. That's why your latest photo has unsettled some hearts. Because they know that kind of light doesn't come from filters or cameras. It comes from fire. From wilderness. From being broken in secret and rebuilt by invisible hands. What they see on you now is the residue of resurrection. You've walked through too many valleys to be ordinary. You've carried too many burdens not to glow in the places they least expected. You became beautiful the moment you chose not to become bitter. This is the message for you: you are more spiritual than you realize. Your presence is a sign of something shifting in this generation. You are not here to impress. You are here to reveal something divine. You are here to undo the curse of being unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. You are here to bring honor back to your name, not just your earthly name, but the name heaven has called you since the beginning. There are people who are whispering about you. Not because you failed, but because you refused to. Your photo stirred something inside people who thought they moved on without you. But now, seeing you rise, they feel the ache of regret, the burn of jealousy, and the sting of truth. Because you were always more than what they treated you as. You were always carrying something sacred. You were never meant to be background. You were called to lead, to shine, to speak, to bless. They tried to clip your wings by reminding you of who you used to be, but your wings weren't grown by approval, they were born through pain. Listen. Someone is going to try and reach out to you soon. Not because they've healed, but because they've seen your glow and it haunts them. They feel like maybe, just maybe, being near you again could heal them too. But you need to be careful. Because not everyone who remembers you deserves to re-enter your atmosphere. Some people remember you only because they feel convicted when they see you become the person they never believed you'd be. They didn't expect you to have peace. They thought the rumors would break you. They thought being alone would crush you. But you turned that solitude into sanctuary. And now, when they see you smiling, they wonder if maybe they were wrong all along. And yes, they were. You are not just changing. You are becoming. Becoming the version of you that was promised. The one God dreamed into existence before the world named you anything. Before betrayal. Before rejection. Before people tried to define you by your darkest seasons. And here it is, the moment you waited your whole life for. God says, I allowed you to be hidden so that when I revealed you, no one could say they made you. No one could take credit for the glory on your life. No one could steal your testimony. I raised you in private. I healed you when they weren't looking. I wept with you in the silence, and now I will honor you in the open. You need to know the reason people are reacting to your image, your presence, your words, is because your anointing is becoming visible. It is no longer something you carry in silence. It's seeping into your aura, your tone, your posture. It's in your face, your walk, your choices. It's even in your absence from places you used to cry to be included in. You've grown. And that growth is loud even when you're quiet. This is your season of spiritual glow-up. Not because you're trying to be seen, but because God is revealing you for such a time as this. The beauty they see now is not cosmetic. It's holy. It's born from moments no one else was around for. It's the result of tears that didn't get applause. Of forgiveness that almost broke you. Of prayers you whispered when all you wanted to do was give up. You are being crowned in the realm of the Spirit. There is a celebration over your endurance. A recognition for what you overcame without becoming bitter. There is someone watching you in secret who once hurt you, and they are weeping, not because they feel sorry, but because they now realize they lost something rare. Don't shrink again. Don't try to dull your shine to comfort those who once told you that you were too much. You weren't too much. You were too bright for their shadows. Too healed for their excuses. Too chosen for their confusion. You are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to break them. And when you walk into the room now, you don't bring just presence, you bring freedom. Peace follows you. Clarity follows you. And whether they understand it or not, heaven follows you. This is the moment when everything changes. People you thought forgot you are remembering. People who left you behind are pausing. Because you're not just someone they used to know. You're someone they now wish they never lost. But don't go back. Not out of pity. Not out of nostalgia. and certainly not out of guilt. The only reason to ever look back now is to testify, not to return. You are being ushered into something new, and the weight of your glow is about to attract more than just old faces. It's going to call forth divine connections. People aligned with your purpose. People who don't need you to shrink or pretend. People who recognize the sacred in you, even in your silence. You are not beautiful because of the world's standard. You are beautiful because your soul survived. Because you didn't allow cruelty to make you cruel. Because you turned rejection into rebirth. You are beautiful because your healing is visible. Because your spirit did not get swallowed by bitterness. That kind of beauty cannot be bought. It can only be birthed. And now, it's written all over your face. You are carrying something ancient and eternal. You are not just becoming more attractive, you are becoming more aligned with who you've always been in heaven's eyes. And that alignment is making you magnetic. Not for likes or applause, but for divine favor. This message is for you. Because the world needs what you carry.